everyone. Yeah, that's normally when you guys respond and say hi. We're going to try that again because clearly you guys are still asleep. It's okay, we're going to wake up just a little bit, okay? Hi everyone. Hi. Much better. I love it, I love it, I love it. Well, hello everyone. My name is Nissy Tee and I'm going to be your host for this evening. Welcome to the Issamovement event. A panel full of beautiful, beautiful people over here who are all going to be sharing some of their experiences, and we're going to be talking a little bit about blackness in the workplace, which is going to be really, really fun. But before I go on, I do have to give a massive shout out to the people who actually let us use this space. So as you guys could probably tell, we're here at Huckletree, and essentially what it is a co-working space where loads of different creatives can come all in one building, they can collaborate, they can work with one another. Shall we go over to Paula, who obviously organised today, and you can find out about everything that they do. But how's everyone feeling today? Yes. Again, guys, we're going to keep doing this until we get it right. How's everyone feeling today? Yes. Great, okay. Today, Issamovement. We're here to kind of celebrate Blackness. We know that Black History Month has just come to an end, but it's not limited to 1 month, of course. But also just to point out and discuss some maybe the issues that, you know, a lot of us might experience in the workplace or in the various jobs that you guys do, and kind of just, you know, discuss that as a whole. And I'm going to give a tiny introduction, if I can find it once again. I had it here a second ago, as to what Issamovement even is. Does anyone know what Issamovement is? Issamovement. You're actually right, which is so funny because in the brief that I was given, it literally said, what is Issamovement? It's literally that. It is. It's a massive movement which essentially is kind of been put together to kind of shift and change the mindsets and the perceptions of us and empower the perceptions of Black people.
My name is Sade Oludoyi. I'm 23. I'm a learning and development consultant, and I work at an IT consultancy company. And I'm the founder of Inspire London, which is a social enterprise, and we aim to empower, inspire, and motivate young millennials, especially through mentoring. So yeah, that's me, and that's what I do.
Hello, my name is Boateng, and I'm the founder of Build and Master, a learning platform for entrepreneurs and professionals. So we help entrepreneurs and professionals understand more about business and help set up their businesses. So we do so through seminars and workshops in finance, law, marketing, and business strategy. So yes, that's who I am.
Alleyne, I work in strategic sales for a company called Twilio, who are the global leader in a cloud communications platform that power the likes of Uber, WhatsApp, Airbnb. I'm sure many of you guys have used at least one of those apps in the audience. I also lead our diversity and inclusion initiatives across EMEA. So I do that kind of as a side piece to my existing role, and yeah, look to support our communities in that way.
Hi guys, I'm Bonita. Day-to-day I work in a media agency, but I have 2 side hustles. One is Ad Spice, which I co-founded, and the second is Make Your Mark, which I founded for women who want to create a side hustle or start their own business, and it's just kind of like a community to bring women together for us to kind of like support each other and be stronger together.
Hi guys, Ibrahim Kamara, co-founder and editor-in-chief of What Magazine. For those of you who don't know what What Magazine is, it's the world's first video magazine. We use a technology called augmented reality to bridge the gap between print and digital, and we focus on showcasing and documenting emerging talent within music, fashion, arts, business, just basically young creators that are doing amazing things all on one platform. And we produce content, we produce events, and we work with brands that want to engage with like youthful audiences.
We have a panel full of just some of the most incredible, you know, people in the UK at the moment, clearly, definitely. So please make sure later on when we do have the chance to kind of network, to mingle, take this opportunity to speak to different people, to really have those conversations. What do you think, or what does success mean to you individually? You can start anywhere.
Individually for everyone, or individually for yourself?
Yeah, for you as an individual. What do you think what is success to you?
For me, success is basically living a life that you want and where you're in the driving seat.
Work is something that you're passionate about. But for me, it's also providing a stable future for my family and being financially free.
Being truly happy. So, and that's not about the money, like you said, at all. It's about being truly happy and content and, yeah, making an impact.
Hello there. I think personally, as a mother and have a family, my success was really bringing up two fantastic kids, and I've actually had to sacrifice what I wanted to do and put them first. So I think being, as what you said, sorry, the chat just here, it's a bit of everything. Sorry, it's a bit of everything. So whether you have to be a mum or dad, etc. I think, and also give back into the community. That's really big for me, and all about the planet, etc. I'm a bit of a tree hugger. I think all of that sort of encompasses success. So it's not just about money and material things.
Thank you so much.
That's my mum.
That's your mum.
So it's about being consistent in and belief in yourself and in what it is you're trying to achieve. And then if you can consistently be consistent with the small things, then you can be consistently successful in life.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Talking of success, of course, the big question for today is all about, your blackness in the workplace. Do you, as individuals, the various places that you guys work, do you guys believe that your race can impact the level of success a person is able to attain? And you might want to make it specific to maybe your area of expertise.
I think the answer to the question is yes. I've always kind of had an ethos in my head that I need to work 10% harder than the next person to, in theory, achieve the same result. But it's not something that I've kind of viewed as a negative or something that I've really sat on and rested on my laurels. It's something that I've used for motivation. I've now worked in sales or tech sales for just over 7 years. The company I'm at now, I'm the only person of ethnic origin in the whole of anywhere outside of the United States. And as a global organisation of close to 2,000 people, we're less than 1% black. So I think saying that, it's quite clear, especially in the tech sector, that we don't see many of us. So I think it is quite clear that race can play a factor.
I was on a show called BBC's Blackness, and every year they have 1 or 2 token black people that come on the show. I was one of the tokens, you understand? So in that instance, that race factor played a positive impact on me. Of all the 50,000 people that applied, because they're looking for that one extraordinary token, they have to put me forward. But even in the workplace instances, having progressed in my career and having gone to become sales manager or managing teams in huge organisations, like Alex was saying, the high you go up in organisations, you see very few black people. And I don't necessarily think that it's just purely due to race. I think at times it does come down to etiquette and how individuals do act and conduct themselves in certain positions. And I feel as though if more individuals were able to understand how to conduct themselves and understand the mindset of, because in senior positions you find that people that look and act like them. It's sad, but it's true. You want to bring people to your team culture who are able to vibe with the culture you have going on. You don't want someone that's going to come in and become disruptive. So it's not that you're having to act white. You're just going in using wisdom as to how you approach certain situations and how you act in certain situations. But if you come in acting a stereotypical way, I use very specifically, then you'll find that individuals will instantly put back against everything you have to say and what you do.
The media and brands today feed off black culture. They feed off it, right? And it's literally, all you have to do is put something on Twitter and it goes viral, and next minute you know it, bam, the media have got it, the brand's making a campaign out of it. And so, whilst I agree that your race, when you're in certain spaces, you have to navigate yourself, you have to navigate those spaces in a certain way that benefits you. I feel like we have to get away from this whole thing of I gotta change and repackage myself to make someone else feel comfortable, because the more we continue to constantly shrink ourselves and shrink our personalities as black people, is the more that that's what they're going to expect from us. And then how do we break out of that cycle of constantly having to repackage ourselves and, I guess, act white, quote unquote, and then move into a place where we can just authentically be ourselves and be the people that they're buying into on social media, in a place where we can offer our valuable insights. Do you know what I mean?
Now, even growing up, I had it from my own family members who would be like, oh, you speak posh. No, I just speak the Queen's English. I'm sorry that this is my accent. I'm sorry this is how I sound. But then it has obviously then gone into the workplace, and I have it from people who also make the assumption that either this isn't my voice and I put it on for work specifically, which I obviously don't, or I can't possibly be black, you know. So it's really hard, and I've learned you just have to be yourself. Whatever way you sound, whatever way you dress, whatever way you look, you just have to be yourself. And yeah, definitely in certain circumstances we do shrink, and I think that's across the board for any situation. If you're nervous about something, you will, you know, shrink your personality a little bit until you're more comfortable. But I think, like I said, you just need to be yourself. I think society is created for us to fit in whatever realm you come, but we're pushing boundaries already because we're starting to say, no, I'm not going to fit society the way society thinks I should be. I'm going to be in society and be me. And I think in the workplace, you just, I don't know, you just kind of just got to be professional, but don't not be yourself.
I grew up in a small town called Bury, just outside Manchester. A small white town called Bury. I didn't grow up in London. I moved from London when I was 12, came back to London when I was 25. So I didn't grow up in London at all. And I had a Nigerian friend called Emmanuel in London, who I met at university, and I'll come back to London and meet his parents. Now, one of the cultural things that I know from him, when I go see his parents, he told me, Samuel, when you go see my dad, make sure you go down on your, and go, what do they call it?
I ain't even Nigerian, and I knew that.
Don't do that. When you see my dad, please. And I was like, yo, like, why am I gonna go do that? It's like, your pops, right? Let's give me a hug. And I just do that for sure, respect and go in. So obviously I went in, my little team, and he was like, oh, you're very respectful, come here, boy, and he gave my hug, blah, 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 cool. But imagine I just rocked in, and be like, yo, what's good? Big man, I'll be seen as rude. In my workplace, I worked at a place called Edinburgh. This is the first example, by the way. Second example, I worked at Edinburgh Rent a Car. Now, there's this guy called Anthony Amber, he was the area manager, and this guy was like, in my eyes, like a mentor. He was like professional goals. He used to have the poshest accent, from Liverpool, but the posh accent, and he would push. This guy was amazing. And we went to a work night out, and he had a few drinks, and this guy was just, I don't know, it was different to how he was at work. He was just chatty, oh my son, I was like, hey, this is the same guy at work. And it made me realize that it's not about being white in the workplace, which I want to emphasize on. It's about being professional. Yes, his self wouldn't have worked in that working environment. So that's why I want to emphasize. It's not about, oh, don't bring your black self to a workplace. And I see these memos about, in a workplace, you've got the white costume, you take it off and you got the black costume. It's not about that. You can't bring your full self in your full way, but it's not my one got sexually amazing. You can't work in a professional environment where everyone brings their cultural understandings, their background, their mentalities, their ideologies into the workplace. But you're there to do what? To make money. So if your understanding of your personality is disruptive and it's causing a company not to make money, then you're a disturbance. It's going to stop you from progressing.
I just want to say that I think the area you work in, it completely impacts, in a sense, how you may behave. So, for example, I think Stormzy can act as black as he wants. It won't impact his career. If you want to maybe be at the top in the corporate sector, maybe law or banking, I work in finance, I can't have like Stormzy when I come into work. It just won't happen. It's never happened, and if I did, I probably would not last too long. So I think the area you want to progress in, it completely makes a massive impact on this topic. There are certain careers where you can act who you want, and then there's others where you just need to I wouldn't say act white, just adapt. So I'm a person all throughout my life, from my own people, black people, I've always been called white. I've always been someone that people say you act white, you talk white, they assume I date white men, and it's completely the opposite. But I've always worked in a certain sector, so I just have to be professional most of the time. It doesn't mean I don't have fun when I go home, it doesn't mean that I'm not at the Black Lives Matter marches, but I would say I act professionally, and I have to just for the area I work in.
So at the moment I'm working in the tech industry. I'm a consultant. In the UK office, we don't actually have a lot of black people in sort of higher positions. There's about 5 black people in the office, but not in higher positions. Obviously I've seen like a few people in like higher positions, but obviously in like different countries. And so just going back to what success looks like to you, just seeing other people in higher roles will probably motivate you to actually look for those roles. So it actually puts belief in you that you can actually go for those roles. But if you're not seeing people of colour in those roles, you're just going to think, okay, maybe this is where it stops for me.
Person. It doesn't matter if they're younger, it doesn't matter if they're older, it doesn't matter if they're black, it doesn't matter if they're white, it doesn't matter if they're Asian. The minute you start putting these these labels on people and basically thinking there's a linear relationship between that label and the value they can give, you're just making a problem for yourself. For me, everyone has value. I learned stuff from my 14-year-old brother, do you know what I'm saying? And so I think the people that want to be successful will always be learning, like always be trying to gain information from different people kind of thing. If you're not trying to learn from people, I think you're kind of like just limiting yourself.
To an extent, I think we do. For example, I think, such a subject. I mean, things like, so you know how, black girls are really flaunting their natural hair nowadays, and I think that in certain environments, so like, in corporate environments, I was speaking to a lady who's quite senior, black, and she totally disagrees with wearing, let's say, your natural hair and having your natural hair really big or colourful and stuff. Like, she disagrees with it because she feels like that's not professional. Yeah. And I would say, no, she's a manager, just below director level, so like between manager and director level at EY. And yeah, she just thinks that, it's not appropriate. And for me, I don't know. I wear wigs. So let me go back to me. I wear wigs because I just don't know how to look after my natural hair. It's not that I don't like it or I don't think it's appropriate. I just don't know how to maintain it because I haven't made an intentional effort to learn how to maintain my natural hair. So I mean, it's really touchy. And I think for different people, they have their reasons. I've seen, women wear their natural hair in an amazing way, like, really professional, I don't know. I love my hair, but I just don't know how to, maintain it, which is why I wear it.
White people are culturally appropriating. We're being brought in, and people are listening to us now because they realise the value of black people and our buying power, and they realise that we have ideas and valuable opinions, and that's why we're being brought in. And in terms of the whole hair thing, what I think we're just ignoring here is European beauty standards and how many years we've been conditioned to think straight hair is white and is right, and it's why most of our parents, the black people in the room, relaxed our hair. And now it's time for us to reclaim that narrative. So if I want to go to work with my hair purple and curly like it is now, I'm going to do it because it's the hair that grows out my head.
Thank you so very much. Such an important question. I'm so sorry because of time. Do we have time? Sorry guys, I'm being told already. I've already given you guys so much space, but just before we round up, I want you guys to give kind of like your final just words of wisdom, advice.
we as Black people, we have great minds, we have, and people are starting to realise it, as I just said. We don't have to kind of shrink ourselves, repackage ourselves. Again, at Samuel's point, all you have to do is make sure you navigate your spaces wisely.
And always aim to be the best in whatever environment you find yourself in. Not just because you're Black, but that's just, you know, that's just the best thing to do. Always aim to be the best. Focus on personal development, you know, that's a really big thing. Always aim to upskill yourself, you know, never stop learning. And yeah, like you said, we are on the map. Black people are doing amazing things at the moment. We are, that's why, to my point before, we are getting to those top positions. And I think that our generation is really going to make a difference, I think, yeah. So we're definitely heading towards the right direction.
It's a great time to be Black. But I'm going to end on my brother's point.
Thank you so much for spending your time here. I know that you guys are all so busy chasing that money, making loads and loads of money. So listen, we've got to thank them. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of time to kind of network as well.